evening, everyone. I am Captain Vipul Choudhary, your host for the evening. I co-founded the Value Talks along with Colonel Manish Kochhar and Major Jayesh Varma Shaurya Chakra. I have been into personal finance and investments for the last 14 years, and my personal specialty is real estate investments and transactions. We have with us today Commander Deepak Uppal.
Good evening, Captain Chaudhary. Thank you very much. Can you hear me and can you see me?
Yes, sir. You are. We can see you and you are loud and clear. So, Commander Uppal is an ex-NDA from the 62nd course of NDA Hunter Squadron. Proudly served in the Whites with the Indian Navy for around 23 years. And then he started his second innings with Price Waterhouse Coopers, which is a very big consulting firm. And he has been with PwC for more than 13 years now. He has made his place and is a very respected name in the industry. We welcome you today, sir, to Value Talks.
Thank you.
Sir, coming straight to the today's discussion, I would first like to ask you what exactly do you do in PricewaterhouseCoopers? What's your job profile like? What do you do in a day?
Great. So, just a question about PwC. So, we have kind of three lines of services. One is called assurance, which is actually the audit part, and the other is tax advisory, and third is advisory. So I am a part of advisory. Advisory is what we call in common language consultancy. And within advisory, I do technology in government sector. So what I do is performance improvement, process improvement, government process engineering, government process re-engineering. I do program management and technology solutions in the government sector. That's what I do. And in a normal day, what do I do? The beauty of the consultancy is that there is no normal day. Every day is a fresh. Every day, every project is different. In fact, if I go through a list, which incidentally it has been 16 years in PwC, so a lot of projects across the country. If I go through the entire list, each project is different in many ways than the other one. So there are no standard days. There are no standard projects. It's a problem at the client site that is presented to us that we need to solve. And we need to develop a unique solution suiting to that problem. That's the kind of job that we do. So we get up in the morning, we go to the client site, there are work pending, there are problems to be solved, there are discussions to be done, there are meetings to be done, there are negotiations to be done. There are different parties, sometimes they are at loggerheads, so you have to sit together and talk logic and get them to come to a common viewpoint and start working together. That's the kind of job that one does in a normal day.
Okay. So, sir, you said tech advisory to the government department should be government in itself.
Yeah.
Has this any relevance to what you're doing in the Navy? I mean, how did you, would you be able to draw a parallel for us and for the viewers?
Actually, if I may take a couple of minutes for it, because a lot of officers who are transitioning have had these questions. What we bring to the table, to the corporate world, a very important and major part is what we learned in services. They already have the technological know-how. They already have everything else. What they don't have is the way we do things in defense. And I kind of got into this realization accidentally. So when I left in 2006 and came to civil, the second or third project that I got was an all India implementation of IT for Central Board of Excise and Customs. Then Central Board of Excise and Customs. Today it's called Indirect Tax and Customs. And that was something which was spread over 550 cities and lots of work happening. The total project outlay was more than 1,000 crores. I had about 500 people working for me. I had about 8 different agencies working for me, which included HP, which included TCS, which included BSNL, then VSNL, and whole lot of things. Now, how to get a picture of this organized? Now, in Forge, we do a simple thing. Every evening, there's a round duty officer takes a round and submits a round report, and that round report percolates to unit and to senior unit to division, and ultimately even the army commander knows how many people are where every day. That is a cascading evening backup report. So I knew that and I implemented that every city I had a supervisor, and they would every evening at 6 o'clock they would have a report, they would make a report, and I had one person sitting in Delhi who would consolidate on an Excel sheet, and by about 8:30 would give it to me. So at any given moment, now this report was due for next 24 hours. So at any given moment, I knew what is happening in which city and all. And everybody down the line found that amazing. They were literally kind of swooned over it. That how did the commander does it? They used to call me commander. They still call me commander all over the place. So they used to call me, how does the commander do it? Every day he knows. And it's a very simple thing that we do almost every day. Many of us have served in army commander's office and all that thing. We have done it. We have served in command headquarters and all. We have done it. So that got me thinking. The kind of reactions I got and the kind of people, they thought how amazing it was. That got me. After that, I have kind of implemented many processes that I had learned and seen in the defense, including how to onboard a new teammate, including how to onboard a rookie, just an associate from the college or a trainee from the college. So in many fields, including how to write many documents. We write fantastic documents in Forge, very well organized, very logically put together. So I put all that together, and I have used my techniques, and I realized that that is my USP. They already have people who know technology far better than me. They already have people who know English far better than me. But they don't have somebody who can think logically, who understands process, who can put together and create new processes and put it all quickly together in a language and method in which we can explain it to others. जो हम फौज में हमेशा करते हैं. How about writing a standing order? We do. How many times have we done it? So these are things that we bring to the table. Yes, technical knowledge helps a lot, but this is what they don't have, and this is what we should present to them in the first place. That's what I think.
Okay. Sir, just for my clarity, so what arm were you in the Navy, sir?
I was an executive officer. So executive officer is for army guys. So Navy has got three services. One is electrical engineer, then marine engineers, and executive officers. At sea, so executive officers are the fighting arm of the Navy, and within executive officers, I was operations, I was navigation and direction. So that is some people who actually manage the operations.
So if I understand you correctly, sir, you are kind of infantry equivalent of Navy.
Yeah. Infantry, armored, all of them. Infantry, armored, communications, all those guys.
An ex-NDA with hardly any technical education.
Okay, in my time, this is funny. In my time, NDA BAs were allowed to join Navy. So we were among the second last batch. So I'm a BA from NDA who joined the Navy,
so you're
which
BA
later on NDA, yeah.
BA from NDA, executive arm, and as of today, for the last 13 years, you have been providing deep tech solutions to the Indian government for solving national level and state level problems.
Yeah, and actually very large solutions. Actually, very large solutions.
And all this has been possible because of the structural mind and the processes you learn in the uniform.
Yeah, and also, see, how did I learn IT? So I was always kind of fiddler. So if nobody's touching something, I would go and touch it. And initially, those PCs came in. If you guys might, I mean, none of you would remember, of course. So in 85, 86, when the PCs came, nobody would touch them. I would go and fiddle with them. There were books, I would read with them, and then I got interested in it. Then I bought some second-hand books, started reading about it, started writing a few programs. That's how I learned. So I was always trying to do. I did a couple of IT projects of my own, voluntary projects while in service. And then when Kargil happened, post-Kargil, I was taken off and from the field and put in Naval Headquarters as Director Technical Intelligence, Deputy Director Technical Intelligence. and that is how it continued. So I had a little bit of IT knowledge to back up. It was not as formal or as organized as my civilian counterparts, and not as deep. But I understood IT. I also understood how to exploit IT, what IT can do for me, and I also understood who can do what, and put these things together to form a team and govern it.
But more than that, you understood as to how things can be structured, processes can be made,
Yeah,
how people can be made to work, how work can be done in a schedule and as per the parameters laid.
correct.
And also you probably knew and you could carry a lot of people at senior hierarchies together.
One of the biggest asset that we have in armed forces is, when I was sub-lieutenant, nobody asked me before I was made the mess secretary. Nobody asked me whether I knew the job or not. But I had no choice. I took it on. I learned the job. In about 3 months' time, as I was as efficient a mess secretary as anybody else. Nobody asked me whether I knew how to organize a Diwali Mela or not. And suddenly, one fine morning, I found myself in charge of the Diwali Mela. And I learned along the way and said and did it. In Bombay there is an event called open sea swimming competition. The first one came to me. I was 2 IC of a unit, and it came to me to organize an on the open sea swimming competition in which civilians were supposed to swim. And somehow we formulated the method, we tried it out, we learnt along the way, and we organized it, and it's going on today also. So this is something that we have all gone through. We can be put in a totally unfamiliar task, and somehow we will solve it. Somehow we will find a way to solve it. And all of us, I see 36 people out here, all 36 of us would have gone through that sometime in our lives or not. And that is the biggest asset that we carry with us.
Okay. So that's very reassuring what you're telling, and the officers who are now in the audience, I'm sure this will be a confidence booster for them. My next question would be that out of these 36 officers who have joined us today, and on a weekend they're sharing their time with us, so it's clear that a lot of them aspire to be an organization like yours. What are the steps or actions you would recommend? How should they prepare for these roles? Any specific inputs you would give them, sir?
These times are better than what it was in our time. When I left, there was nobody in these organizations, and the only place where a Fauji used to be put in such organizations was either in administration or in security. But I was very determined, and I kind of said no to all those tasks. And then one it I the way I landed up in PwC was not a very organized manner. I was in a aircraft. I had gone to Bombay to give interview to ICICI Bank, where I had got selected as a AGM wholesale banking. And then I was on my way back, and one of the senior partners of PwC was sitting next to me, and we just got to talking. She was a lady of my age only, so we just got to talking. She was asking, what are you doing? I told her this that. And at that time, if you in the Navy, there used to be an Admiral Karve. His wife was a senior partner in PwC. So she found out about me, and then they recommended, and I got the gig. They asked me. I said, okay, I've got a offer letter from ICICI. You give me better than that, and I will come. So that was that. But coming to now, such coincidences are very far and very few and far in between.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Is there an airline you will recommend where people can buy those tickets?
No, but I said such incidences are very few and far in between. It happens because of luck, or maybe I was running around and maybe I was just trying to bump into someone. But the method today, see, for those of you who want to join consultancy, there is not a good consultancy company today where there is no defense officer. and about 7, 8 of them have been put in these services by me only. I only have recruited them over a period of time, probably trained them, probably worked with them, probably they had worked with me, and they are all over the you name it, GT, KPMG, Ernst and Young, Deloitte, and they are there. So it will be good if you guys can get in touch with them. I hope you've got your LinkedIn profiles. They are all on LinkedIn. And don't get disappointed if something doesn't work out with one particular person. There are times when these things don't work out. There are times when these things work out. It all depends. After all, when I look at it, why I landed up in PwC, it was nimit matra. It just had to happen. It was without any special effort from my side. I landed up there. Today, I can say that I can make a big deal about it. But frankly, it was a kind of coincidence. But today it is there. Also, each of these companies have got websites. So keep scanning them. One time scanning, one time contacting somebody does not work. And this is what I have been telling many people. In fact, just 6 months ago, one officer retiring from the Navy, Rakesh Prasad, Commander Rakesh Prasad. So he suddenly approached me. He was working with a panel of ex-CEOs who were mentoring people, and he was getting mentored. And his mentor connected with me. So it just happened that a vacancy came in, and I recruited him. What you have to understand is that we are all senior people, and there is no batch or mass recruitment at our level. People of our age and seniority are only recruited laterally, and lateral recruitment only happens against a specific vacancy. And this is what something we should understand. Now, that vacancy may exist on a day or may not exist. And if it doesn't exist, it may exist on another day. So the requirement is to be relentless in your hunt without losing any of your Josh, that today the work has not happened. Today it is not worked out. So that is one thing that I will suggest to you all, because this at our level, we expect to be expensive resources. We expect higher salaries. We are all lateral recruitment guys. We are not mass recruitment guys. Nobody will come to our place, okay, yahan se 5 utha lo, which is what we do at associate or at initial level, at consultant level. Wahan se 7 utha lo, wahan se 10 utha lo. 10 to lekar jana hi hai yahan se. This doesn't happen at our level. At our level, you will be recruited against a specific vacancy. Because the very first day you will start drawing a 6-digit salary, and that 6-digit salary has to come from somewhere.
Right.
So don't get disappointed. Don't lose heart if it doesn't happen today. It may not happen today because there is no vacancy. Vacancy means somebody has to move from an existing chair. So please understand that. And therefore, you have to be relentless in your effort till you don't get it. It will happen. We are all SSB products. We have beaten competitions. We have worked through our ways to service and all. We are all good. There is no doubt about it. So it will happen, provided we don't stop looking.
Sir, what I've gauged from you, from what you have told, is that since the officers are lateral hires and they would by design be going towards positions which are senior and therefore more responsibilities and paying well. So a way to reach out for these positions is, one, to keep scanning the websites of these top 5-6 organizations, which is like you just named them: Grant Thornton, KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst Young, and yours, which is PwC, maybe McKinsey and all. And then also, as you said, every of these organizations has around 8 to 10 service officers. So keep networking with them.
One more thing that one can do. There are these headhunter websites.
Okay.
Okay. So registering with them it makes a difference. It can get some things. And LinkedIn also is a very effective platform for creating opportunities. So being uh, uh, very active in LinkedIn does help. So there is no single thing which will solve everybody's problem. These are 4 5 different things. Some will solve 20%, some will solve 20%, and together 5 of them put together will make it 100%. Okay, so some will find success through connects, some will find success through websites, some will find success through LinkedIn, some will find success through headhunters, uh, and a very odd people will may find somebody sitting next to them in a flight, and success may come from that side. So one in a maybe I don't know what 100 or 200, but
Even that is kind of networks.
yeah. So the idea is to meet people, to not appear, uh, be very confident of yourself. You are a value adder. You are not a job seeker. एक बात है, you whichever organization you go to, you will bring some value to the organization. The organization will benefit as much with your presence as you will benefit from the organization. So it is a two-way. It is a two-way benefit exchange. So don't be a job seeker, uh, be a value adder. And if they find value in what you are proposing, if they are looking for a person like you, they will take you. Why not? That is what they are doing. If they don't take you, they will not be able to do the job, what they are supposed to do, for which they have a contract and all. So they will not be able to deliver it well. That's what they want to do. So if you fit a bill, why wouldn't they take you?
Mhm. Okay, sir, there is a common gripe amongst service officers कि हम जब जाते हैं तो जो वहाँ पहले से ऑफिसर्स बैठे हैं वो मदद नहीं करते, and that is a crib. I mean, in our parlance if ऐसे बोले अब तो वो the same officers were like कि हाँ हाँ आ जाओ, we'll help you out. When I've been approaching them, they don't help.
See, it takes all kinds to make a world. I can tell you my experience. Uh, I have put up in my 15 years almost more than 12, 13 officers. I have been able to settle them. And more than 12, 13 officers, I have been able to settle about 30 officers' kids. Some of them whom I didn't even know the father or something. It's not, he used to come and tell me, sir, I am son of Colonel so and so. Could you please help me? And that's enough for me. So you are yourself putting up effort to put these conferences together and all. So if somebody is not responding, koi baat nahi. No need to get angry at him. No need to get mad at him. Just look for someone else. There will be somebody else who will respond. So if somebody is not responding, it's all right. He is not obliged to respond. Let's get that very straight. He's not obliged to respond. So there's nothing to be bitter about. It is all right. Or I have a firm belief that my share will come to me in some form or the other. The universe will ensure. Okay. So if somebody is not responding, it's all right. Why should वो तो respond कर नहीं रहा है, मैं अपना BP क्यों हाई करूं उस पे गुस्सा होकर? So let him go. It's all right. There will be somebody else. I have seen even civilians responding to defense officers very well. I found civilians who respect defense officers so much, and they go all out to kind of look after them. I had a very, very, very good experience in PwC a lot of time. They came out to help me. Nahi sir, aapko to, we have to see that you succeed. So you meet all kinds of people. I have found people who were not so friendly. I've just let them go. That's all.
So जैसे मतलब point is that you keep networking, and जैसे वो बापू कह के गए, सब्र रखने का और उसको बदले में मस्त स्माइल देने का.
हाँ, जो अच्छा है उसको रख लो. हाँ, जो अच्छा है उसको रख लो. जो नहीं अच्छा कर रहा है उसको जाने दो ना.
Right. Sir, my last two questions before I open it to the audience, because there are now 40 of them. I'm sure they're very eager to connect with you. And
44 I see there.
yeah. So what are the different verticals within these organizations which you had told, GT, KPMG, etc., which are more relevant to absorbing talent of an armed forces officers? One is what you told, government tech advisory. What are the other three, four, five names,
No,
if you can indicate us?
let us not say government tech advisory, let's say government sector. So
Okay, sir.
each of them have got a very large government sector. Like even PwC, there is a vertical called GRID, which is government reforms and infrastructure development. Now they are into ports and airports and road and township development and all those things. So the each of these organizations have got a very large government sector. I am so some of them have got two, three verticals within government. So government, of course, it's a large sector. So be with that. Then there is something called management consulting. So those of you who have done MBA, you can be very effective in management consulting because although you have done MBA just now, but there are we we have a lot of insights into leadership. We have a lot of insights into management that we bring with us. Only thing is we have to express them in a new vocabulary, using a new vocabulary. So those of you who have done MBA will, the only thing that adds it to you is it gives you the new vocabulary that this ecosystem understands. Okay, so you can re-express them in the new vocabulary, and so management consulting is something very very good, a good opportunity. Then in consultancy, there are certain corporate specific verticals like deals, delivering deals, and like evaluations and all. I would suggest I do not have any knowledge of them. So if you do not have any knowledge of them, please avoid that. Please avoid that. Okay. So management consulting is a very good line. IT, some of you are very good in IT and engineering and all. So you can go into that general IT, not just government sector, across this thing. Uh, Infrastructure development is very good. Smart cities is a very good line nowadays. It's smart. There are 100 smart cities being done. In fact, three of them were led by me only. I did three smart cities. That is Raipur, Bilaspur, and Hubli, Dharwad. These three smart cities were done by me. So smart cities are very good line. A lot of work is happening around that. One thing that I would suggest is that uh, all of you should. Today's government is very dynamic, luckily, and they are coming up with policies every day. And so, if you study the policy, you have to start thinking: is because of this policy, what opportunity is opening up? What they need to understand. For example, now just 2 days ago, government has launched a new currency. Digital currency, digital rupee. Now, how does that work? What does that? There's a whole ecosystem around it. How will the rupee work? How will the transactions happen? How will the evaluation of the rupee happen? How will so now you must think that why should we already have e-payments? 60% of our trade and transactions happen on electronic means. So why have a digital currency? What is it that it is giving, and what is it that is lacking over there that the government has to launch digital currency? What is the specialty about the notes that they handle, that they give, which is not happening online? So the anonymity, the bearer value, and all that thing. So the point is, but one can study about it, and there will be careers, there will be opportunities coming around that. So the early movers get into that. And the good part about early mover is you are the oracle. What you say is the wisdom because you are an early mover. Others know fig all about it.
Right, sir. So if I summarize what you said, one, government sector itself is a very big sector in these consulting organizations or advisory organizations. Then some of the officers who have knowledge of IT, they can also be a part of it, IT and the related fields. And then those who are doing MBAs, they can be a part of the management consultancy, which also is in sync with the leadership positions which they have held as armed forces officers.
One of the major avenues in which all defense officers have a talent is process engineering and process re-engineering.
Mhm.
Probably you guys don't know that. Once you understand, just Google what is process engineering, just Google what is process re-engineering. And you will realize, look back into your lives, you will realize you have done that 20 times at least in your own lives, in your own careers. And your mind works in a particular way where it comes very naturally to you. And that process reengineering, one of the first buck that I earned when I came outside the Navy was through this. I just went to one of the ancillary industries to Maruti, and they've been manufacturing a part for quite some time. And they wanted me to do it, and I just looked at it and I studied it for 3 days. By fourth day, I'd given them a diagram as to how they can lay out their stuff better so that their holding quantities are reduced by about 30%. Now, holding quantities reduced by about 30% means they had about saving of about 2 crores of stuck capital, which is in terms of like you have a water in the pump, which is already there and not usable. So similarly like that. And they paid me in those days a princely sum of 2 lakh rupees, for which I was very proud. It was my first non-defense money that I earned. So they have been running that industry for quite some time. It was a almost 20-year-old factory. I was an outsider. I could go out, observe it, think about it, and give them a solution that had not occurred to them. That had not occurred to them.
Okay. Sir, I am now my last question to you, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, they say that in these profiles, job profiles, the workload is immense. Typically 80, 100-hour weeks, and weekends are all, there are no boundaries between weekends and weekdays and all. How is the job satisfaction? How difficult is the work-life balance?
True and not true. So I've had years where I've had more than 200, 250 boarding cards, 200, 250 flights in a day. I've had days because if I'm running a project which is spread over 200, 300 cities, 500 cities, so sometimes I'm covering 2 cities, 3 cities in a day. I start at get up in the morning and rush to the airport. First flight I take to one city, then second flight I take to the city, and my third I land up in the evening in another city and then go to the hotel over there. And then the next day morning it is like that. But the point is, there were years in which I had just 5 or 6 flights. So there were days when I've had a 10-hour, 12-hour day, and there were days where after 4 hours, I said, okay, I'm going. There's nothing much to be done now. I'm done for the day. There were weekends where I was working, and there were working days when I never went to office. अच्छा आज कुछ खास नहीं है कोई मीटिंग नहीं लगाई हुई है और काम दिया क्लाइंट को बना के दे दिया है नाउ क्लाइंट विल स्टडी माय डॉक्यूमेंट एंड कम बैक टू मी tomorrow so till day after tomorrow I don't have to go to office. I'm sitting. The good part is these companies have all learned how to work in a networking way much before corona. So for an example, just 3 days ago I had gone to PwC office, which was my visit to office after 9 months.
Okay.
So the point is they don't ride hard on you. They are just concerned with your delivery. So you do your job properly, look after a project job properly, you do whatever is expected of you. They have fully equipped you. You got a laptop, you got a connectivity, you got everything that you want. If you want something else, they will give you that also. So I get my mails in my laptop, I get my mails on my mobile, I get my mails on my tablet. I've got all my applications also all over the place. And they've invested very heavily in IT, one of the best IT systems, and that is good. So there are many days when I don't go to office, but I am working 8 hours, sitting at home in my bedroom. I am working 8 hours, but I'm sitting in my home in my bedroom. But yes, 8 hours now, sometimes even 10 hours I'm working. My wife gets fed up कि घर पे तुम्हारे रहने का फायदा क्या है? But then there are other days when I don't open my laptop. Basic thing is to enjoy what you're doing. Uh, Job satisfaction comes from enjoying what you're doing. I've done some very good things for the government. I have done some very good things from the for the nation, and that gets you the satisfaction. To enjoy what you're doing, you get job satisfaction.
So it's a very mentally engaging work, sir, which you do.
It's all a lot of it is mind, of course. Consultancy means you are solving somebody else's problem, and it's all application of mind.
Wonderful.
You gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down.